Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy, what is today? Tuesday. Tuesday. How's everybody doing? Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Klepto. Good morning, Jeff. Whoop. Trying to get the link for this so I can put it on Instagram. How's everybody doing? Ready to trade? Let's get it started. Holy pump overnight. How long? 5 minutes till the market opens. We got a little bit of time. Copy link. Yesterday's price action was crazy. Don't you guys think? Okay. All right. You guys see? Yes, you can see my screen. Cool. All right. So we had this big, we've just been going straight vertical right now. Zooming out to the hourly really quick. I do have a fib from basically all-time highs to the low that was set on July 26th. We pushed through overnight that 0.5. We had some clear rejections off of it. If we zoom in, you can see right here, this is the 0.5 of that move, all the way up here at 29,530 something. We have the 0.618. Let me post this really quick. Sorry, I'm so bad at multitasking. Paste. Boom. Okay, we did it. So anyway, that's quite a bit above us, lots of room. Obviously, we've just been pushing up all night. I am going to do a couple of things. So I'm going to draw a fib from yesterday's low to the current high. That'll be an uptrend. And then I might even, let's look at the 5 minute. I might even do like Asia low to the current high. I don't want to go into anything with a bias, but the market is very strong. Yesterday, after I got off stream a little bit later, I did end up trying to short on my fundeds and took a loss. And in hindsight, that was a big mistake because, like, what are you doing shorting the market when it's that strong, you know? So Anyway, I kind of like the idea of a rip down off the open and then find support in this zone around that whole psych number of 29,000. Right below that, we have previous day high at 966. We have pre-market low right there. VWAP is floating in that range right now. So there's a lot of stacked levels, kind of like if I were to draw a box, it's a big zone, but like this area. I would potentially look for longs if we sell off the rip. In terms of trying to take shorts off of the open, I am a little hesitant on that front of wanting to try to take the short. Perhaps if we get a strong close, okay, market's opening right now. If we get a strong close on that first 5-minute bar, somewhere down here, like below these wicks where we last kind of formed a little bit of support, maybe. But there's a lot of, there's a lot of EMAs. There's a lot of areas that we could bounce. So I'm a little more hesitant to do that. And we're just ripping off the bat. Cool. Wowza. All right. What's going on, chat? How is everybody doing? You're nervous? You got your butt whooped? What happened? Like in the market? I don't know why sometimes my options chart won't load. There we go. Trade bar. Hopefully going to be taking some options today as well. So some people would take the break and hold above pre-market high or pre-market high retest here. We are just really extended. Doesn't mean we won't continue to rip up, but it's not necessarily the trade I want to look for. Want to at least wait for our first 5-minute candle to close and see. So if this 5-minute candle does end up closing really strong up here and we don't get any sort of real rejection, I would potentially look for the pullback to pre-market high for a long. Need to put my music on. Will that work? The heck? It doesn't want to let me connect. Wow, we are just ripping to the upside. Holy cow. What indicator am I using? I am currently trying out my friend Grizzly's indicator. It is called Grizzology. It is a paid indicator, and I'm still deciding if it's what I want to use. There's a lot on it. You can choose what's on it and what's not on it. So you aren't like locked in, but there we go. Music is on. I like it so far though. You can select all the different levels you want. You can change the colors. There's VWAP, there's point of control, there's all sorts of stuff. So, wow. We're just ripping. Okay, we're hitting the weekly high from not last week, but the week before that was never touched right now. That's what this level is right here, this previous week high. So I'm interested to see if there's any sort of meaningful reaction down there. But we've already ripped up in the first 5 minutes 200 points nearly. So just kind of got to wait and be patient, wait for our opportunity. We're hitting the pivot. What's the pivot? Yesterday's low to high, 50% retracement is Asia low. This low to high? I mean, now if we move it potentially. It's hard when we're just ripping up like this with so much strength. Like, can be tempting to just hop in. But momentum breakout trading is something that works until it doesn't. I would say, as someone who used to trade that. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. See what happens up here. I added pivots to my charting. Jay done did it while you were out. Gives you another important level. No idea what it is. Morning, Ashley. You have no idea what it is, but you're using it. That's hilarious. Love that for you. I mean, I know what a pivot is, like as in highs and lows. Is that what you mean? Are we like talking specific pivots from certain time frames? Are we could find support here on this previous weekly high that we're reclaiming. There's part of me that's tempted to try the long there, to be honest with you, but I want to wait a little bit to let the market settle before just jumping into something after such an aggressive run up. Support and resistance level. Huh. Someone will have to show me that. I'll call Jacob and be like, what are these pivots you're talking about? Honestly, what I am interested in learning more about right now is volume profile. That's the only thing I'm really interested in potentially adding in, especially because just lately in the market, VPA has been, I don't want to say it's been unreliable, but it has been a little bit frustrating. I've had to be really patient, and I feel like there have been a handful of circumstances where I have missed the trade that I want to take, if that makes sense. So, because I'm waiting on volume confirmation and there hasn't been, volume confirmation has not been coming as consistently as it typically does with VPA. So, I'm curious, is there a way that I can incorporate and combine? We're holding that previous week high really nicely right now. Is there a way I can combine that with um VPA, like volume profile and VPA together to find some sort of additional confluence and confirmation when VPA isn't really like doing it for me? What's up, Tony? Pearson's pivots built-in indicator on TradingView. 50% of the candle is a whole cycle number of 300. Yeah, I don't mind if we do pull all the way back. This area, pre-market highs, we have pre-market high. We have the 8 EMA kind of hanging out. We have this big obvious imbalance if you do fair value gaps, which I don't really, but it's just something that is there that I can see, right? But it looks like we're going to continue up. That previous week high retest would have printed. You would have taken it right there. 365 up to 430. I'm going to personally wait. I want to see the 15-minute opening range form before. I'm actually very interested in how we react up here at this, like 0.6 of the down move. That's 530. I'd be really surprised if we didn't get some sort of a reaction up here. A lot of volume was exchanged up here because we're pushing back into that area into that range essentially that we were stuck in for like weeks. So I would be very surprised if we just continued to go to the moon through that, but doesn't mean we're not going to do it. Man, that previous week high retest was the money. Yeah, there's a lot of room up to 30,000. Anybody else take a trade yet? You guys being patient with me? Anybody rip the longs off the previous weekly high? The hard part about taking that trade is there really wasn't there wasn't a defined place to put a stop loss, which every once in a while I will take a trade off the lower time frame not without a defined stop, but where I just choose an amount I'm willing to risk and I don't have a structural stop. If I took it on the retest, where am I where do you presume I put my stop, right? Technically, if I took it on the retest of this level as we started to bounce, let's say I got in at 370, where the heck is my stop supposed to go? Bottom of the opening range? 170 points? Like, no, thank you. Pulling back. Is this just going to be another nuclear day where we just go to the moon all day long with no real clear, easy structural pullbacks? I'm new here. What do you mean you found a home at Team Bull? When did I say I found a home at Team Bull? I don't remember saying that. I was with Team Bull for a while. Jacob, J Dunn, is like a brother. He's like my little brother. Very good friend. And I was a part of their trading group for a while. That's where I was live trading. I got recruited to go to another group that he and I discussed and both thought it could potentially be a better fit. Texting my husband. Can you check the internet? Let me know. Is it working now? Breaking A. Let me know if it's working now. Is it working now? Anybody? Can you let me know? Okay. Jeez. Sweet. Wow. Well, we're already almost up to that level that I've been watching. We did get a close on the 5-minute outside of the... Okay, cool. Hopefully it works. Outside of the 15-minute range, but on pretty low volume. Nothing crazy. So I'm going to be watching this area up here if we get up there to see how price starts to react. Nothing really that I can take at this point. Another trade idea, if we do get a pullback that's on lower volume, I would potentially look for the retest of this area where the 8 EMA previous week high and point of control is. But other than that, right now, we're really just kind of stuck waiting. Jeff, I was trying to ask if my stream is working because everyone was saying that it was freezing. So I don't know why. it would be freezing. My internet is, I'm hardwired. So I don't know why it would be freezing, but my husband says it's all working good on our end. So maybe it's something was happening with my computer. I don't know. Regardless, we will wait and see. It's freezing again. Okay. Hopefully it's better. Oh, I turned my music off. Maybe it was the music putting me over the edge. Who knows? Who knows? Just ripping up right now. The only true kind of pullback retest we got was this previous week high. But, you know, like I said, I couldn't really take that because there wasn't anywhere that made sense to put my stop loss and manage my risk. So we will just hang out, see how we react up at this fib level up here, this 534. Very hesitant, to be honest, after yesterday and seeing how strong the market was. I'm very hesitant to want to try shorts. Yeah, it's exactly what it did yesterday. Our volume is dropping off significantly as we push up into this 500 area. So I am going to just be patient and would, like I said, potentially be interested in a long in this area. Previous week high, ADMA, point of control, all of that is floating down here around this 370 to 380. As long as we don't sell off on increasing volume, that's something I would potentially try. But we did hit that whole psych number of 500, and that's right where we're rejecting 29,500, which is crazy because we weren't even at 29,000 when the market closed yesterday. So gotta just be patient and see what we get. Learn my lesson to not trade what I think, only what I see. Yeah, it's a great lesson to learn. Definitely some increasing selling volume coming in that you can see on the lower time frames. We might front run this fib level. I want to see what happens with this 5-minute candle. We have what, 2.5 minutes left on it. We also are about to close a 15-minute bar, and right now the 15-minute bar that we're about to close, the way it's looking absolutely more bearish than bullish, I would say. So if we look at this, you can see got that long upper wick. If it closes with a long upper wick back inside the 15-minute range, I would definitely be less inclined to be looking for that bounce I was talking about earlier. It does look like we're potentially trying to hold the high of the 15-minute range. It's not something that I can really get on board with taking right here, to be honest with you. I need more confirmation. News, yep. It's only yellow folder though, right? Orange folder jolts. Oh, that might move the market a little bit. So we can wait and see what happens with that. Forex Factory. Thirty seconds. Looks like we're going to close this 5-minute bar and the 15-minute bar back within the range. No significant volume on it still though. So, well, are we going to pop back out just for the last 3 seconds? Then maybe so. And the news is dropping. Still saying pending on my end. Forecast is 7.44. Factory orders is 0.3%, negative 0.3%. Jolts is still not showing on my end. $7.36. It was forecasted to be 7.44. So that's a little bit more on the bearish side. You lost audio now? Can you guys hear me? Can you let me know if you can hear me? Okay. Goodness gracious, guys. One day I'm going to like hire someone to be my producer so that I don't have to deal with any of the technology stuff. Because I have no clue. I do think we will probably continue up from here as we're holding this orb. I'm gonna try a small position in my options account here, guys. I don't have full confirmation. Wow, it's pushing up already. So I'm trying this with options. Want to see us push up to that orb. Come on. don't love how that candle is rejecting on the lower time frame. So not taking this in funded, it's just taking it in my options account based off of the price action on the 1 minute. And come on. Don't like that rejection. Want to see us go take the high at least. What I'd like to see at this point, because it seems as if we are pushing up on lowering volume, is some sort of a push into this level and then wick down. And I'd love to see volume kind of pick up from that point. We did get the 15-minute close and the 5-minute close outside of the orb. So if you trade the orb without VPA, technically there is confirmation there. There's just no confirmation for me from a VPA standpoint. Come on, keep going. Struggling at that 500 level. My contracts went from 415 to 450. Want to see us get a big push of the highs, and I'll trim. If this goes back to my entry, I'll probably just close it. Palantir up 22%. Nice. That's legit. Okay, we're finally getting a little bit of a increase in a volume candle here. Can we break the highs? We shall see. Struggling for sure. So like I said, I took this trade on my Vanquish account. I got in as this, oh, you can't see my 1 minute chart. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm trimming part of my position off as we push up here. Took 3 of my 5 contracts off of my options account. I liked how we were holding. I did took a similar trade on evals yesterday. I'm trying to wait for trades with full confirmation on my fundeds. Interestingly enough, what I feel like is happening some of the time when I do wait is I'm taking the better trades that are actually working out are the ones that I'm taking on my evals that don't have full confirmation, which is part of why I was saying I'm interested in diving a little bit into volume profile to see if I can find some confluence between the two. The interesting thing is that we do have this uptick in volume, but it's a relatively small candle. It's actually an inside bar to the previous candle. That was a down close candle. It's obviously a bullish hammer, but it's not the strongest looking candle when you look at it by itself, right? So I'm still interested to see what happens up at this level, if we react, how we react. And we can kind of go from there. trimmed one more contract off right here as we're pushing into this level in case we do get some sort of strong reaction up here. This is one of those days that if we do continue to grind up, an entry that I might end up looking for is like the first true retest of the 8 EMA, because we haven't tested it since the market opened. That's a trade I would potentially take on my fundeds. Yes, I'm just showing the 5-minute chart instead of the full chart that has all the time frames, because I got a lot of feedback from people saying that it was just a lot to try to watch the YouTube, with it being obviously like a smaller screen typically. We are starting to see a bit of a reaction here. I'm gonna just close my options position here and take my green. I made about $400, $386 on that trade on my options account, and I want to avoid being greedy. I'm just trying to take base hits. We are getting a nice reaction here. So ideally, what I'd be interested in seeing here, which I don't know if we'll get because this is about to close, if we can get a little flush here real quick off of this level and get this candle to close bearish with increasing volume, I don't think we're gonna get it. Same thing I talked about yesterday, right? Looking for that hammer candle, or like a gravestone doji with increasing volume off of the level, and then a retest into it, but we didn't get it. We just got another up close candle. There is a little bit of a wick off of that candle though, so maybe we push through. This was from 10. The other thing that's difficult about this 10 a.m. candle where we did get a little bit of volume on it is it's a news candle. So the volume is kind of irrelevant in some ways. So looks like we're just getting that grind up. No more news. Close Forex Factory. I definitely feel like we're dying out up here, but we kind of did that yesterday too. And I thought we were dying out, and then we just ended up kind of consolidating and then pumping more to the upside. So hesitant here to take anything until we get a really clear signal. We are right at my level though, so I'm watching closely. Did we officially break the uptrend? Or sorry, the downtrend from the higher time frame? We did. Or no, yep, we did. We officially broke the Wild. And we're going up. We're going up, up. Some moment. Trading Palantir and MU today from Australia. Nice. You trade options, I'm assuming, then? Wonder what ES is looking like. Still trying to reject in this area. The way that we're stalling out here makes me want to take a stab at shorts early. I'm not going to. I'm gonna wait for confirmation, but I'm just vocalizing that it is making me tempted to hop into something. How's everybody else doing? Are we being patient? Are you guys in the longs? What are we doing? I want to see if I were to take a short up here, which is the only thing I'm really interested in getting into up here. I want to see ideally a high volume bearish candle, something that looks like this. Imagine that's a candle. That's the wick. And I want an increased volume bar and then a close below this red line, which is not what we're getting. We're just grinding up on low volume right now. So there's really nothing like, there's nothing for me to enter here. The other thing I would potentially look for is if we get some sort of a deeper pullback, a long opportunity, but it just is not giving us anything right now, you know? So yes, had the volume confirmation on that 5-minute candle close with the opening range high. Are you talking about the 10 a.m. candle though? Because technically we got a candle close above the opening range high with higher volume, or I wouldn't even say higher volume, a slight uptick in volume on the NQ 5-minute chart, but that's the 10 a.m. news candle. So for me, I don't know. I don't necessarily count that because it's not unusual. It would be more unusual to have a drop in, or sorry, not have a uptick in volume during news, right? So when the candle is a news candle and it has higher volume, it's not very convincing to me. Yeah, we've just been pushing up, which is fine. We'll wait. We'll hang out. See if we get some sort of opportunity. We're going up, up, up. Anyway. That's a good question, Ashley. It depends, like with how extended we are from the EMAs. If this candle would have closed uh bearish with higher volume, like a red down close hammer candle, I would potentially look for the retest into that candle, and then I would target, like I would probably take my first trim at the EMA and potentially even move stops to break even at that point, because when we I just know for a fact when we're this extended from the EMAs, we can often get a big reaction off of the first retest. Not always, but often. And so I don't usually like to leave my stops in a position where I could let my green trade go red in that scenario. So we are getting another red candle here. So gonna be watching to see how this 5 minute candle closes. It will be interesting if we can get a bearish engulfing with a strong red close down here with an uptick in volume, which it kind of looks like we're going to. Just realized I don't have my other account pulled up over here with my evals. Okay, those are the evals. These are okay. Don't love that candle close for the shorts. And here they come though. I am tempted still to try the retest of the 8 EMA, but what I don't like is that we started to try to go above this level and we're failing back below it and back below the 500. Some strong volume coming in on the sell side on the 1 minute chart with this current 1 minute candle that's printing also. The red line, this one up here is part of a high time frame fib level. So do we try the 8 EMA bounce? I don't like it as much when we've been slowly grinding up. Excuse me. It doesn't mean we're not going to get a reaction. I just think I would rather see like a deeper pullback. Do I try it on evals? Perhaps. Close the Vanquish account because we already traded that. Move this down here. Didn't quite get down to it, so we're probably going to test it via time versus like actual price. Thank you. Little bit of reaction there. Nothing super convincing, to be honest. Just gonna be patient. Yeah, I don't mind the idea of like still coming all the way back down to this point of control 20 EMA potentially. I just don't want to try and take a long after we've been just slowly grinding up and we hit the level that I would have wanted to target if we took it from down here and get stuck in a reversal because we swept my level and now we're pushing down, you know? That's the thing that has me feeling a little uncertain about trying to take that. Technically, I bet we're hitting the GP of like this little range. Yep. So we're hitting the GP of this little range right here. And so this could be the next leg up. Absolutely. I just personally am not going to take that on my funded accounts when we swept my level. Just not interested. But we did get one nice little. Did anyone else take that long that I took on my options account off of the top of orb here? Anybody? 450 up to 530. I mean, wow, that was a much larger move than I even realized it was. So we are getting more and more volume trying to push in here. But is the volume going to be to the upside or to the downside in terms of on the 1 minute chart? I want to show you guys this really quick. This is what I mean when I'm saying that. On the 1 minute chart, if we look, and there it goes, it's to the upside. If we look at the 1 minute chart, this down close candle is where a lot of the volume came in on that last 5 minute candle. So we are making a new high here. Really high volume on MNQ. That's the other thing that's been interesting is the volume on MNQ and NQ has been so different recently. Like technically this candle on MNQ has a significant increase in volume. Like, look at this. This is MNQ. Look at that uptick in volume. That's usually what I'm looking for, is a candle that has an uptick in volume like that. But I typically only like to watch volume on NQ. And so that's been another thing that's been interesting this past week, is that a lot of the volume confirmation is coming through on MNQ and it's not on NQ. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that exactly. They're just different contracts of the same indices. So NQ is a mini contract. It's per point, $20 per point per contract. MNQ is their micro contracts. So each contract, they move identical, basically, but you can buy and sell them with less risk when you take micro. So MNQ is $2 per point per contract. So 10 MNQ is the equivalent of 1 NQ. And typically, I would say MNQ is like what's following NQ, because NQ is like the parent contract, if you will, right? Like that's when massive orders are being placed that move the market. It's typically in NQ contracts, not MNQ contracts. And so that's why I care more about the volume on NQ, because volume is helping us determine where real moves and orders are being placed. And typically that is represented best by NQ. Lately, the volume on NQ has not been clearly representing what's happening with price, and it's been difficult to read and inconsistent. Whereas on MNQ, there have been, because I know this because on my brokers, I trade MNQ typically, not NQ. And so I have the volume up and I can see it on MNQ. And that's how I was looking over here and going like, oh, wow, that was a high volume candle on MNQ. We're about to get a higher volume candle on NQ. So potentially one could justify the long on a pullback into this candle. It's barely an uptick in volume though. And we are still kind of extended and we're slowly grinding up. So you could potentially try the long off of this level and this pocket. I might do it on evals. There's still just not a ton. I feel like the volume is slowing down, you know? So let's see as we pull back into this area if there's any support that we start to find. And that was a higher volume red candle to the downside on the 1 minute. Can also see on the 15-minute that the bodies are getting smaller and smaller as we push up, which can be a sign of price coming to reverse sometime soon as well. But we're probably just going to keep going up based off of what the market has done. But like, I can't, it would be breaking my rules to enter a trade, especially on my funded accounts, just based off of like, well, this is what the market's been doing. And so this is what I think it's going to do, because it does that until the one time that it doesn't do that, you know? Yeah, the volume discrepancy has been really confusing and frustrating, to say the least. Just am not liking how inconsistent it is between the two of them. It's typical for there to be little inconsistencies, but usually NQ is what's reliable to watch for volume, and it hasn't been. And I don't know if it's just because the market's been so volatile that there's like more orders being placed on MNQ. Maybe that's why. We're just gonna push up. I bet we go to 600 now. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. do, 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 do. Make me wonder what I'm using for confluence. Yeah. I mean, the thing is about the market is the longer you trade, which I've only been trading a little over 2 years, but you will start to see that like sometimes your setup works amazing and your confluence is playing out. There will be stretches of time where certain things don't work as well. Does that mean that you like, you know, throw it all out and go find a new strategy from scratch? No, absolutely not. What it means is like it's just a weird, like July, for example, is a weird month in general because there's just less overall volume in the market. Typically. And I think even into the beginning of August, it's still sort of like that. So the 1 hour over here. Kind of looks like we're trying to set up for a potential 3-bar on the 5-minute to the upside. So now we have a bump in volume on the consolidation candle. That's also kind of a weird anomaly to see. Like typically a full-bodied candle like this should have the higher volume. This candle should have a little bit of a drop in volume because it's a consolidation candle with a smaller body. Yet it's a down close candle, has a little bit longer of a bottom wick, but generally speaking, it's really a neutral candle, but the volume is really high on it. So it could almost be considered an anomaly candle with the smaller body and the higher volume. And you could say, okay, well, this might be, another potential sign that we might start to reverse up here. Based on VPA. I still actually I call me crazy because the market's been crazy strong, but like there's a part of me that really wants to short up here. And I don't know if that makes me insane. And I don't want to, just I'm drawing this so I can see the high over here on my other higher time frame where it lines up. Yeah, I still am definitely feeling more inclined to want to short. Call me crazy. What I want is very clear confirmation at this point. To enter something on my funded accounts, like I either want an explosive high volume candle to the upside that closes like above 600 with like significant volume on it, or a wick up and fail with high volume to the downside. Just need something else other than this indecisive seeming chop, even though there are decent moves happening here. Like you could make money here scalping. We're going to touch the 8 and push up again. Is that what we're going to do in Q? Sick. How much time on this candle? 2 minutes. Yeah, I 100% agree with what you just said about the focus should be defense right now. Like if you don't, when you don't feel like you have a super clear read on the market, you should be, okay, maybe this is our volume. Is this going to be our volume or is this news? Holy cow, hold on. Be careful, guys. Is this a Trump tweet? That was some real wiki behavior. Let's see. Anyway, what I was gonna say, I think maybe there might, maybe not. That was just some really crazy wickiness that just happened. All I was gonna say is that in this scenario, like when you don't feel like you have a crystal clear read on the market, something I've learned is that the best thing you can do is sit on your hands. And that's not to say that there aren't good trade opportunities, but like just be pickier about them, you know? Okay, we're starting to get a little bit of potential volume coming in, maybe. Let's see how this candle closes. So this is now a failed continuation pattern on the 5 minute. That we are seeing. So if we close, we didn't quite, I was hoping we'd get below that 8 EMA. Now on MNQ, we have lower volume bars, and on NQ, we have higher volume bars here. So which is it? I still like the idea of a deeper pullback if we can get it. I almost want to try it here. I just don't like that we're still holding that 8 EMA. Let's put a... really aggressive 1 minute failure candle. Was there some sort of a tweet or news that came out? Did anyone see anything? Still am leaning more towards the shorts coming in. What's the 2 minute look like? Yeah, that's so interesting that now the MNQ volume on those 2 last 5 minute bars dropped off, and the NQ volume on those 2 last 5 minute bars increased. So I still think potential shorts. Need a little more confirmation. Like if this starts to fail up here, maybe. But it bothers me that on the 5-minute chart on MNQ, the volume dropped off. That does bother me. What would the stop be? 540 to 573, 30-point stop. I'm going to try this on my evals to start. I'm going to wait for a little more confirmation to potentially get into it on fundeds. But I am going to try a small piece of shorts from this rejection here on my evals. It is very risky. That's why I'm taking it on evals, because we are still holding and sitting above this. And these are two inside bars. Even though we did have a little bit of an increase in volume, they are inside bars. And we could totally hold here and push up, which is what it looks like we're gonna do. I'm probably gonna stop out if we start to really push above this little area right here. Still trying to reject. Let's see if we can get the rejection. Watching the 1 minute. We had this really strong rejection candle off of the highs on the 1 minute with a significant pump of volume, which is what made me kind of like that. But it is 100% a riskier trade because, again, just like yesterday, just even though it's been a slow grind, it's a strong trend to the upside. Where's my 1 minute chart? And that's not what I wanted to see. Okay, let's see. Do we fill back down? Another really low volume 5-minute candle just printed to the upside, which actually makes me like the shorts more. I'm still not in it on my fundeds. I'm in it on my evals. We are getting some strong wicking down on the, if you see the 2-minute chart. Need it to start flushing here. It's trying with all its might to hold. My entry is at 536, so I'm in drawdown right here by about 10 points currently. It's a risky trade for sure, guys. Just know that. This is a risky trade. Kind of trying to flag to the upside too if you like do bear flags and bull flags on the 5-minute. But the volume is just so freaking low. Even on MNQ, both MNQ and NQ, that last 5-minute green bar that printed had super low volume. Is that just because we're preparing to break out and we're consolidating? I don't know. And I'm going to stop out right here. Actually, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for the highs and see. I want to see if we can still... Just, that was like a really bearish candle. So I'm on evals, so I'm okay taking a little bit deeper of a drawdown. Yeah, that 1 minute candle is a really big part of why I wanted to get into that trade in the first place. The 1 minute and the 2 minute both look great. The 15-minute looks like it's running out of steam. The bodies have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The 5-minute, the volume has not showed any aggression with the sellers. Or sorry, with the buyers. So I'm gonna let this one ride on my evals and see. And then if we get more confirmation, I will potentially try it on my fundeds. I'm gonna wait for that. I would love just to see a huge sell-off, bearish engulfing on this current 5-minute candle. But again, look how low the freaking volume is on this thing. Like, what is that even? Come on. Flush down, baby. It's trying to hold up here. Come on. Just doesn't make sense for it to continue higher on this weak volume. But it very well could. That's why we're taking this, or I'm taking this on evals as a little tester to see. And then I think if this actually starts to break to the downside, it will get aggressive quickly. We just gotta actually see sellers start to step in and break down past probably this level. This like 520, 526. So this could be a 3-bar to the upside that could screw us on the 5-minute. So hopefully it's a failed 3-bar and it just rejects right here at the highs and flushes. Come on. It looks like it wants to do it for us. Come on, flush down, baby. Basically just went and touched my break even and is bouncing right at my break even. I want to see this go all the way back down to the top of orb at 450, personally. Come on. Nice close on that last 1-minute candle. We need to go flush through that EMA that we continue to try and hold. Just got to be patient. Okay. We are in profit for the first time on this. Come on. Give us the flush through. Go break the lows. I want to see us break the lows of these bodies. Flush right through that EMA. We're up 5 points at this point. Do not hold the EMA. For the love of my prop account. Really good volume on that last 2-minute bar that closed to the downside. Hopefully this is the last little retest up. It looks like it wants to fall to me, but it very well could just rocket back up from here. So we do not want to see some sort of explosive push up off of this, which is what it seems like we're trying to get. Come on. It doesn't even have to be a reversal. Just give me a deep pullback and then maybe we can find like a good entry for longs on the fundeds. And we're trying to push up aggressively again. That is super annoying. Come on. Flip down, baby. The 2-minute is looking pretty good. It's just the 5-minute that's looking like iffy. Like I really liked this candle and this candle both, showing that sellers are really trying to step in here. We just got a flush. If we can get a close below this like 520 area, 517, 520, I think we'll be in a good spot. But the other thing is that this consolidation could just mean that we're about to rock it up and, you know, form the next leg up, essentially. Give us that flush down. Give us the flush down, please. Wow. This trade feels like it's a freaking eternity. Just riding that 8 EMA. Still just printing inside bars too, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside bars on the 5-minute. Come on. Let this be our flush down. You can do it, NQ. Come on. Come on. All the way. All the way. This is ridiculous. We're kind of trying to hold the top side of that level, that 0.6. There we go. Come on. Give us some real volume here and start to flush through. All the way. There we go. There we go. I want the floor to just fall out from under us here. Come on. You gotta keep pushing down. We can't find support here again. It's trying so hard. Like the buyers are trying so hard to hold us up right here. We need this. We need a close below this 26. It's looking good on the lower time frames, truthfully. Like that last 1-minute bar, I liked that as well. Just got to lose the 8 EMA for real, for real. Ideally, we break below the low of this last 15-minute candle too at 517. Then we can start printing to the downside. Come on. Flush down. Give me a 1-minute close below 520. Oh my gosh. Y'all, this is excruciating. We just need to fall through right here. It's holding on for freaking dear life right now. You know what I want to know is what's happening with my other, with the top tickers. Okay, we need NVIDIA to break its lows. I mean, everything looks like it wants to try to go lower. So that's in our favor as well, I would say. Like Apple had an engulfing candle. We need the flush. There we go. Come on, flush the lows. Keep going. We got a 2-minute close below these bodies. Don't push up again, y'all. We did get a 2-minute close below the 20 EMA. I really want this 5-minute bar. We have a minute and a half. Really want this 5-minute bar to close below the 8. If it continues to wick up, I'm going to kind of lose faith here. Come on, give me strong selling. I also need to pee so bad right now. I'm in a short. I'm in a short if you missed it. Tony. Here we go. Come on. No way this goes up after all of that. Really? After all of that, we're going to try and go back up now? Guys, that is not looking good for my short. I don't like that at all. Come on. This is wild. Really high volume on that, on MNQ, on the 2-minute. This might be the end of us. That might be where we get in trouble because we just had that high volume doji to the upside. I am going to exit this short. Exiting the short. Took about a $300 loss on that. So I think honestly now the longs are going to come in because of that last candle that printed. Unless we reject here again, I just am not interested personally in sitting through more of that on these evals. So we'll see. We shall see. I'm more inclined, honestly, now to try the longs after we held that. But I don't want to rush into another trade. Well, guys, give me a second. I gotta go pee really quick. I'll be right back. And then we can talk about a game plan if there's any opportunities left. Holy cow. Apparently we're going up. Good thing we got out of that short. Hopefully no one else took that on an account that you like care about a ton. Not because it was a bad trade. I don't think it was a bad trade. It just was a risky trade, right? Tried to make that super clear when I got into it that it was going to be an eval trade. It was extremely risky going against the trend. Yada yada yada. The crazy thing is that I don't know if it's just like something is broken in my brain, but I still am not totally convinced on the longs. Like if we were to wick up here and put in a nice candle to the downside, I would maybe consider trying another short if I got like a full true signal for the short. We have a lot of strong volume pushing us to the upside right now. But it's not even really that strong volume, like relatively speaking. It's very low volume still. So, anywho, let's catch up with the chat. Thank you, Judy. Trying to be calm. All right. The strategy says at this point with this high volume green candle to the upside to take the long off of this candle. Do I try it? What would the stop be at the lows if we get the pullback to like here? I also just don't want to like be the ding dong who longs the highs. You know what I mean? 17-point stop. Watching. Trying the long on that same set of evals. Could totally get just like obliterated right here. I'm tempted to try it on my fundeds with like really, really small size, like 3 micros. Should I do it? Tried it off the 0.5 of that candle. So the entry is like literally right here, basically. 22-point stop. I feel like I'm probably going to get obliterated on this. Taking this on micros also, or non-micros on evals. Oh, it's going. It's trying. And it's turning around. I think this is going to continue up. Still have not taken anything on my funded accounts. First trim on this, I feel like should be like 600 whole psych number. On the 2-minute, I want to see this continue and break the highs. I'm going to move my stop to break even on this since I already took a loss on these accounts. Should I leave it? I'll put it to break even. This wicks and flips up will be in a good spot. If not, it's going to stop me out. My actual entry is 571.25. Couldn't really justify a trim when it only went up. 10 points, basically. And it almost just stopped me out. Let's see. I'm gonna go up. Jeff, my entry for my short was at, where was it? Do you guys remember? I don't remember exactly where I said it was. I feel like it was like 540-ish. Okay. Trying to push up. Go break the highs. Okay, I'll trim at 600. Go ahead, hit that 600. Don't just front run it and sell off. Really? Really, NQ. That's how you're gonna play it? That's how you're gonna play it? Come on. Go ahead. Take the trim. I have a limit right at 600 on the dot for a trim. Up about 20 points right here. But I want more. I want small. Just go take 600. Just take it. Just go. Are you kidding me? You're kidding me right now? 98.25? Go ahead, NQ. Push up and take it, please. Just a little pump ski. Just a little burst to the upside. You can do it. There we go. All right. Got that trim off. 30 points. I don't even know what I should target because, like, where even are we? Should I just hold this for the rest of the day? If it ends up being a day like yesterday, that would pay off. Maybe I'll put my next target at like 700. Couple micros left. Geez, should have taken that on the fundeds. Mary Ellen, are you telling me that you're judging me? Are you openly telling me that you are judging me? Wow. To the moon, NQ. I'm gonna take another trim right here. 50 something points, 55 points. Anyone else take this long? I know, trust me, you can't offend me. It's impossible to, not impossible, but it's very, very hard to actually offend me or hurt my feelings. So you're totally good. I, it is tricky sometimes, but I just try and like, not in a bad way, but like I just pretend like you guys aren't here and I'm just talking through my thought process. Might not be as entertaining as some other people's streams sometimes, but yeah. That was a really good long. I kind of wish I would have taken it on my fundeds. I mean, we broke out of that consolidation. We attempted multiple times to try and flip and go lower. We had some good selling volume coming in and failed to push lower. So like the bearish attempt failed and we broke out to the upside with a high volume full body candle, pull back right to the 50% and right to the previous highs that we were rejecting and have just been kind of rocketing since then. So I kind of regret not taking it, to be honest, on my fundeds. You could even potentially, like, this is, I think, what Jacob calls a 2-bar, right? Another high volume 5-minute bar that just printed to the upside. So you could potentially try a continuation if you didn't get in. But I just didn't like something about me. We all have to figure out like when our judgment tends to be clouded. And even if it's a loss on evals, in the past, what I've recognized about myself, and you guys might resonate with this, you might not. In the past, what I've realized about myself and recognized about myself is that 90% of the time, if I hop in a trade right after taking a loss in the opposite direction, I end up getting stopped out. I think that it's mostly because when I have done that historically, it is more so it's like revenge trading, right? Like most of the time it's not an A+ setup. Even if I'm like, "Oh, this is A+," then I look back and I review it and it's my judgment was actually clouded and it wasn't A+. And so it's something I want to improve on, gaining more confidence and like when I'm wrong one direction, being able to flip my bias quickly and go the opposite direction, which is why I will do it in evals, but I'm not interested in doing it in fundeds because in the past it hasn't worked out well for me. And I'm trying to protect my fundeds, treat them with a little bit more. So anyway, for me, I'd rather miss the trade than rush into something under like clouded judgment and then be frustrated with myself over it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're in this on the evals up about, where's my actual entry? Let's make sure that's correct on the screen. 571 on the dot. Oh, that's inaccurate. 571. Stops at break even now, but it would have been a 27-point stop, and we are at Basically a 2-to-1 right here. I want to see it go hit 700 at this point. I only have 1 micro left. I trimmed 3 at 600, which was basically a little over a 1-to-1, but being a whole psych number, wanted to take that trim. I took 5 micros, by the way, on that trade. So 5 micros, 600 trim, and then I trimmed again at 621. And so now I have 1 more left. Trying to learn how to read true reversals and not get trapped in chop. Yeah, I mean, we all are. I think that, like, for me, when I'm trading reversals, again, on my fundeds, to be clear, because I will take riskier setups, earlier entries, etc., on my regular accounts, or on my, sorry, eval accounts. Wow, this is just going. On my fundeds, I like to wait for, I have like a very clear system for confirmation that I wait for. And sometimes it leads to me getting a later entry. I'm not like getting that top tick entry. But I'm okay with that. You know, I don't need to top tick it. I would rather get in with clear risk and more confirmation than get in earlier with less confirmation and take more losses. So, how's everybody doing in the chat? Who's green? Who's red? Who's flat? Anybody? Anybody? Can you imagine if I would have held my long from that options trade down here that I took? Green after a couple small reds. Nice. Shaking in your boots. Why are you shaking in your boots? Oh, wow. What discipline, Ashley. That's great. First time on an eval. Thanks for your discount code. Of course. Thank you for using it. Honestly, I appreciate everyone who uses my code. Wow, this is just going. Should probably like start trailing. I think I'm gonna trail up to 620-ish. Let's go 616. Oof, big rejection candle there. Do I just take this? Like, this is up almost 100 points. 80 points. 90 points at the highs. Or should I hold it for 700? I think it's going to keep going, you guys. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys and say that I'm feeling extreme FOMO for not having taken this on my funded accounts. Just being honest. Nice. Kiana's in the same trade. Prop from Firsty. Love that. Thanks for hanging, Judy. Get in. I'm definitely not getting in up here. That's for freaking sure. Man. Really wanted to take a trade on my fundeds. Another really high volume bar printing on the 5. We're at 660. The only thing I would maybe try is a retest of the 8 now that we're extended again. I just don't really have any levels up here, so I don't. Really know what to do. Oh, there is a supply, it looks like. Why are those not showing? Maybe it'll show now. There we go. There's a supply up here. It's 742. My code works on Tradeify and it works on Vanquish if you want to try options. But Tradeify is the only futures prop firm that I have a code with by design. You guys all saw what happened with Alpha recently. Even though I could, oh, I'm out. I trailed to the bottom of that candle, that 1 minute candle. All right, well, out of that. Pretty happy with that. Went red to green on those evals. So we will take it and we will close those ones. Because I am more than happy with that. Now all I have left that I haven't taken a trade on is my fundeds, but wondering if I should just shut it down for the day. My last trim was like 80 points on that. I'll take it, I'll take it. I do kind of like the pullback to the 8/600 level if we can do it without some massive increase in volume. The problem is to get there, we're going to have like an engulfing candle, which is not something I necessarily want to see. Trading retest really tests my patience. I shake in my boots when it goes crazy like this because I tend to jump in at the very moment it reverses because I'm dumb. You're not dumb. Don't talk about yourself that way. Number one. What do you mean you jump in right when it reverses? Like right now, like you'd be trying to jump in right now? My question would be is like, what are you waiting for the retest of? Like if you're waiting for a break and retest, this was a break and retest entry, right? This is the high. This is the consolidation zone, right? So let's do a little learning really quick since we can. Very clear consolidation, right? Those are the highs. We could even extend it up to like these wicks, right? We got a candle that broke out of the consolidation, closed strong with high volume, and then we got a retest into that consolidation zone and that candle and a reaction. So in my opinion, this is a break and retest. I'd be curious to understand, like, do you mean that you're waiting more so for a full, like, big move away and then come all the way back down to retest? And then you're ending up jumping in when we're already pushing up because you feel like you missed it? Guys, I'm kind of liking the idea of the retest of the 8 EMA. I might take it. That was a lower volume red candle that printed. It was a down close candle, but it was lower in volume. If we can get down to this 615 area, I also would be curious to see where does my fib land on that move, a little lower. What do I use to copy trade? I only copy trade within each firm. I don't have like an external trade copier that I use. What are we retesting in this stupidity? Yeah, I guess it just depends on what you're waiting for the retest of. Because in some circumstances, I agree we aren't getting retests of levels that we often do. Like I love a break and retest of pre-market high. Today, we aggressively flew through it and never came back. I love a break and retest of opening print, same thing. We did get a retest of the opening range high, but there wasn't, for me, volume confirmation that I like to see. Looks like we're just going to try and go up from here, but I'm going to be very, very patient. I'm going to hang out a little longer and wait and see if I can get some sort of an entry. But we shall see. Yeah, there are a lot of YouTube videos on how to set up copy trading on Trade It's just the group trade feature. It's in like the top bar. I don't really use Trade a ton though. If I have the option not to, I don't. Oh, excuse me. The copy trading honestly kind of sucks in Trade in my opinion. All right, we're getting what I like to see, which is a not super aggressive, lower in volume pullback towards the 8. So if we took this, or if I took this, it would probably look something like that. And the target would be probably a supply up here, trim on the way up. But gonna be watching very carefully because I don't want to get in on the it's gonna try and go early here off the 620 area. Really don't want it to front run me. I actually really want to take this setup. Oh, did I do a video? That's hilarious. I forgot I even did a video. No, don't push up from here. It's gonna be annoying. Just gonna do it. It's front running me. That is quite annoying. Can you show how to trim your position on TradeC? Well, I'm not in a position right now, so no. I can explain it to you though. Like literally you just like let's say you're in a long right now. Let's say I'm in 5 micros long. So to enter that position, I click buy, and then to trim at market, I just tap the number down to being like, let's say I want to just take 1 off. I make on my little scalp bar, you just make that 1 and then you sell 1. So you just do the opposite of whatever you're in. I think this is going to keep going up from here, guys. Looking at the 1-minute chart. That's quite annoying. Maybe not. Maybe it'll still pull back for us. Take it when it breaks the red, like the high of the red. You could. It's not usually how I like to take my trades though. I'll do that on like a 2-minute chart more than I will on a 5-minute chart. Not saying it doesn't work, but just not my typical entry model. Adrian, found out you have a stream program just a few days ago. Follow you since then. I like the way you trade, learning from you. Would you please tell me what's the indicator? Yeah. Thanks for following, number 1. And I have a few indicators. I have the 8 and the 20 EMA, which are just on TradingView. Whoa. News? Holy cow. It's gotta be news. Jeez, that really actually did do us dirty. Now I feel FOMO again. I mean, there wasn't really a great entry for that, to be honest. Oh my gosh. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the indicator. So I also have Grizzology, which is this guy right here. That has all the key levels and stuff, and the supply and demand, the orb, the VWAP. Look at the volume coming in on this. Holy cow. I feel like that was news. Yep. Iran weighs allowing Europe to clear mines in the Strait of Hormuz. So that was a news pump. I would be careful trying to hop into it now because that was a news pump. Doesn't mean it won't still go up. I would just be careful. Well, guys, I feel like I'm going to call it. It is 9:40 my time. And I kind of want to go hang out with my kids. There's part of me that likes the idea of a retest into this candle for higher, but I also am torn because that was a news candle, and as you guys know, we can have a big pump on news and then an aggressive sell back down or buy back up depending on which applies. You know what I mean? So anyway, I appreciate you guys all coming and hanging. Sorry that I didn't take any epic trades on my fundeds, but we did take a nice one on the evals. One little loser, a nice big winner, and that winner on the options eval. So I will be back on tomorrow. Well, I'm only in the green. I didn't take any trades on my funded accounts though. So I'm green on my evals, but I don't really count those because they're evals. But yeah, might as well go hang with my kids, enjoy the day, and back at it tomorrow when there's a good setup. So if you are going to trade this, I would just be careful because it's a slow grind up kind of price action that is just not always the most reliable. Peace out.